The holidays are quickly approaching. For many grievers, the holidays have a way of intensifying that pain. There are empty chairs, there are triggers and memories everywhere. I thought that it might be helpful today to share a few strategies. These are things you can use to help you survive the holiday season and hopefully give you the opportunity to experience a few moments of joy. I'm Emily Graham, bereaved parent and grief coach at After Child Loss. If you've experienced child loss and are trying to survive grief and life after, start now by subscribing and clicking on the bell. One of the things I noticed when the holidays hit, I go on autopilot. And what that means is I have this set list of things that I plan to do, and I just focus on doing them, checking each one off the list as I go, moving on to the next one. It sort of serves as a distraction, right? It lets me go through the motions of participating in the holiday, and depending on how I feel at the time is the level that I participate. It also lets me give my kids the experience that I want them to have while kind of detaching from that emotional overwhelm about another holiday without my son. It is sort of a way to compartmentalize, right, the sadness and the joy of the holiday. For me, that begins around Halloween. My son was 7 when he died, and he died on Christmas. And so I feel like we hit Halloween, and I still have 2 daughters, and they love the holidays. So for us, Halloween is all about, right, the costumes, the candy, the parties, all of that stuff. But it begins that countdown to Christmas, which is the worst possible day for me. And so when we hit Halloween, I find my grief kind of kicking in, right? I have this pressure to make it memorable, and to sort of, go through and create what we used to do. But all it did was it highlighted that gap where my son should be. And I see then it blends into Thanksgiving, and then it blends into Christmas and New Year's, and that grief would just sort of stick with me, right? So I had to find a way to manage it. Now, your celebrations may look very different than mine, and that is perfectly okay. Regardless of the way that you celebrate or where you are, these tips and strategies still have a lot of power and can work. You likely have traditions, family gatherings, events that you plan to attend. Each one can be filled with memories or triggers. Being around people might be difficult, right? Seeing them celebrate in the way that they always did while you're here struggling with this overwhelming burden of loss. You might not feel like partying. You might feel a little bit disconnected, and all of that is okay. There is even a chance that your anxiety is through the roof, right? As you anticipate everything that's coming, because all of that is completely normal. The good news is you are in control. And I know that might not feel like it. It might sound a little crazy, but you get to decide what each holiday feels like or looks like. So review your traditions. What did you do before? What do you want to do this year? Know that each year you can decide something completely different. No matter what you choose for this year, you can always change it or modify it as you go, depending on how you feel in the moment. If something doesn't feel right or you don't feel ready, just don't do it. Make a list, right, of all of those things that you really want to do, and make another list of the things you're going to avoid, and then literally follow that list. That becomes your holiday roadmap. Just do the things on the list. Don't worry about anything else. I know it sounds overly simplified, but it works. The next thing that you really need to know, which sort of goes with that, is that the anxiety that's associated with all of these events and all of these holidays, the things that make it feel overwhelming, are usually worse than the actual event ends up being. So sure, there will be hard moments and sadness and these memories that pop up and can trigger you. But the best strategy is to know that these things may and will happen. Be okay with that because it's normal, right? Give yourself permission to feel them if and when they come on. You don't have to put on a brave face. You don't have to fake a smile so that everybody thinks you're okay. If you feel like that is sort of how the holiday needs to be, maybe you're not celebrating with the right people. I would also ask you to look at the situation and decide how much of that pressure is really from the people around you, or is it self-imposed? Is this something that you are putting on yourself? Because we always are our worst judges and critics. Throw your expectations out the window. If you feel like you need to cry, step into a quiet place and cry. If you find yourself having a good time, don't get caught up in feeling guilty about it. Let yourself enjoy that brief moment. Your smile, your laughter, your joy will never diminish your sadness over the death of your child. You can have joyful moments and still feel the sadness. So give yourself permission to feel both if and when the moment arises. Another great strategy, find a grief buddy. This would be somebody that gets it, somebody that understands or knows how hard it might be for you. Have them attend with you. Have a secret code, right? If you get there and you realize this is just way too much, right? You don't want to be there. Their job is to help you get out. They can be your ride. They can be your excuse to duck out early. It's completely okay. Also, create a list of easy responses for those invitations that you aren't sure that you're ready for. They could be just really simple things like, hey, thank you so much for the invitation to come to your Christmas party, but I have another commitment that night, right? Everybody's calendars are full. You can even extend a future invitation like, maybe we can meet up for lunch in January. And that lets you sort of maintain that relationship, but keep it on terms that work for you right now if you don't want the party and you just want one-on-one. A final tip, find ways to honor and connect with your child. Maybe carry something in your pocket that signifies them going with you. I have this worry stone that was given to me, and see, it's got a little indentation. I can hold it right in my thumb. And this fits right in my pocket, right? Nobody knows that it's there. Find something of your child, stick it in your pocket. When you feel stress or worry come on, squeeze it, right? Every time you feel a pang of guilt, you can rub it, squeeze it. Nobody will know. It's like this little secret, right, between you and your child. It's your way of carrying them with you to whatever event you're going to or whatever tradition you're participating in. Another great way to honor them is to create a new ritual or a tradition just for them. For some parents, buying a toy that their child would have loved and giving it to another child in need, that is a great outlet. For others, they perform random acts of kindness, right? Print out some little cards that say, in honor of my son Cameron, or your child's name, and keep them in your wallet. When you are out and about town and you feel the urge, pay for a cup of coffee for somebody. Give it to the cashier, have the cashier give them the card. It just lets them know that's what you're doing, right? Stick dollar bills in the card inside their favorite book at a library or a bookstore. Donate money to a cause in their name. It doesn't even have to be a monetary ritual or act of kindness for somebody else. Simply scheduling 10 minutes of connection time every day where all you do is sit in a quiet place and think about your child. Whatever you decide to do, factor in extra time for self-care. Get lots of rest, plan for downtime, change things if it becomes too stressful. Know that you're not alone. I am sending you so much love and strength for the holiday season. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, share. Thank you.